So in this episode, I'm going to be ranking the albums of one of my favourite bands, Ego Likeness. Let's do it. Welcome to By Candlelight, beaming goth, darkwave and post-punk straight into your brain. That's gotta hurt. So I'm going to be ranking the 5 main Ego Likeness albums. So not including the demo, which was recently re-released, Songs from a Dead City, or any of the EPs. Look, I've got like Skull and Candle and more candles. So this is actually now By Candlelight. Well, it's actually still by ring light.
One ring light to rule them all.
Anyway, back to the ranking. So Ego Likeness are a darkwave goth band formed in Baltimore in Maryland. They were formed in 1999 and they actually got their name from Frank Herbert's science fiction novel Dune. Ego Likeness had Donna Lynch on vocals and piano and Stephen Archer on lead guitar, programming and actually some of the vocals as well. So we're in favourite band territory for me here. So ranking these albums is going to be so hard, and there has been like a number of times when a few of them have changed places because I just think they're all awesome, to be honest. There is no bad Ego Likeness album. There are only ones that I prefer over others. Oh, and one of these albums contains one of my favourite songs of all time. So stay tuned to find out which one that is. So at number 5, we actually have their debut album Dragonfly, released in the year 2000. So the album starts with A Different Kind of Loss, which is quite sample-led, but then we're straight into Hydra, which I do believe is a Stephen Archer vocal, and already you're starting to hear Donna's ethereal vocals coming through in the background. The chords in this one sound like a precursor to a song that will actually appear on their following album, and that is Water to the Dead. This is then followed by Second Skin, and this is when we get our first taste of Donna's amazing vocals. And there are some gorgeous harmonies on this track. The Ocean Beside Us has a lightness of touch, while Too Many Empty Nests actually starts with this trip-hop beat and very basic synths, but then it slowly builds to a crescendo. So a great album and a promise of things to come. I didn't get to hear this album when it was released, so it's hard to not compare it to the later albums, but yeah, Dragonfly is my number 5. At number 4 we have Order of the Reptile, and this is actually their 3rd album, which was released in 2006. And right from the opener Weave, you can really hear the melding of the synths and the guitars. After the menacing aviary, the album really picks up with Save Your Serpent, which just explodes and then just races along. When Severine starts, you're in your local goth club and this is blasting out. So this one feels like a proper anthem. Donna just has this gentle tone on the verses, and then she just comes in with this commanding, dynamic tone that just sweeps you away. She's so cool. The lightness of touch that is The Foolish Man Who Has No Home kind of takes you by surprise at first, but then it's so fantastic to have this change of pace. Even the Sisters of Mercy cover, After Hours, is decent. It adds some new life and some dynamics to the original. So I love this album. It's got some great songs. I'm more likely to take songs from this album to add to a playlist rather than play this album all the way through. But it's still a really strong album. Number 3, we have Breedless. Breedless is their 4th album, released in 2010, and the first to be released on a much bigger record label, Metropolis Records. And you can really hear a leap in production quality on this album. The title track perfectly levels the synths and guitars. In fact, on this album you can really hear the guitars a lot more. They feel really pushed forward in the mix. Now Until Forever slinks along with its analog synths and its crunching guitars. Everything on this album sounds clearer, more dynamic, and with so many more layers. I don't think anyone could ever prepare you for the track The Devil's in the Chemicals, straight away we are right back in that goth club. It's such an adrenaline rush. Please do play this one very loud. Song for Samiel is hauntingly beautiful, with Donna singing the line, Samiel, meet me at the Red Sea. Seance has this driving bass line, but then opens out into this beautiful chorus. 30-Year War ends the album on quite an ethereal note, but shows that the band can go from an anthem like The Devil's in the Chemicals to this. So this album really excels in its pacing and its track positioning. The production is amazing, it's widescreen, dynamic and emotional. Number 2, we have Water to the Dead. And Water to the Dead is the band's second album, released in 2004. This is the album that first got me into the band, so possibly unsurprisingly, this is the album that features one of my favourite songs of all time. How exciting! Sorry. Goth cool. Grr. It couldn't start any stronger than with the title track. Again, it feels like another anthem, it races along and just does not give you time to breathe. Then we're straight into the walking pace rhythm of 16 Miles, which features that trademark ego lightness driving bass line. Mandala has this hypnotic rhythm before bringing in the guitars for a powerful chorus. Hurricane sees the band load a track with synths and guitars in equal measure, and this is another one of those tracks where Donna just has these restrained vocals on the verses, but then she completely lets go on the chorus. And then, drum roll, we have one of my favourite songs of all time, Wolves. I can't live without this song. The piano part is just beautiful, and you get this real sense of paganism and witchcraft embedded into it. If there's one song I would encourage anyone to play, it's this one. So that's Water to the Dead. For a long time I thought that the band would not be able to top that. That was always going to be my favourite Ego Likeness album. So my number 1 Ego Likeness album has to be When the Wolves Return. So this is their latest album, released in 2015. I've got to say that this, for me, is a near perfect album. This channels and distills everything that Ego Likeness are and places it into this one album. Again, the production quality takes another step up, what with this being the second album on Metropolis Records. Leave a Light on Thomas sets the mood perfectly, and the album does not drop the ball from this moment onwards. Darkness turns its ominous intro into these stabs of sheer epic goth. I'm going to say that again. Sheer epic goth. En Rouge is Donna seeing red, and you will know exactly what I mean when you hear this. Play this one loud. This album's anthem has to be persona non grata, and you just don't realise it at first until that chorus drops. Exhilarating is not the word. Actually, it is the word. Treacherous Thing is definitely an album highlight, and it does give persona non grata a run for its money. And what a way to end the album with the title track, which starts so mellow with the piano and then just gradually builds into this cinematic climax. This really does sound like something from a film. So there you have it. That is my ranking of the albums by the amazing band Ego Likeness. If you're new to the band, I would definitely recommend Water to the Dead and When the Wolves Return. And just to say that both Stephen and Donna do other things as well. Donna is a writer, Stephen is a fantastic artist. So I'm going to put a bunch of links in the description for you to check them out. So what did you think of this ranking? Would you have ranked them any differently? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, see you later.